no escaping Cambodia's dark past.
This is a skull bone.
Evidence of the handiwork of the genocidal Khmer Rouge can be found in the most unexpected places.
All around this pagoda there were lots of bodies. They buried 10, 20, 30,000. In one hole there were 10 bodies, in others 20 or 30.
It was 25 years ago that the Khmer Rouge fled this temple in Kampong Chhnang province.
After they fled from this pagoda, we found a list of names of more than 30,000 people who had been killed around here.
A mere fraction of the up to 2 million people killed during the Khmer Rouge's reign. Almost a quarter of the population wiped out in 5 years, either from disease, overwork, starvation or execution. None of the Khmer Rouge's leadership has ever been brought to trial, but after years of delays, that is about to change. Yuk Chung is the director of the Documentation Centre of Cambodia, which has been collecting information on the Khmer Rouge and its leaders. And he says when it comes to one of the surviving leaders who will be called to account, there is plenty of evidence.
There's plenty of information about Khieu Samphan.
Khieu Samphan, the regime's former head of state, surrendered in 1998. At that time, he faced the press, but any acceptance of responsibility for the past was not forthcoming. Let bygones be bygones was his message to Cambodians.
Sorry, very sorry.
This was not the first time Khieu Samphan had attempted to return to society. Respected as a politician prior to the Khmer Rouge's reign, his return to the capital in 1991 provoked a violent attack. Survivors of the Khmer Rouge's reign of terror are keen for a trial to begin.
I really want to see it. Those people committed crimes. They fed the people like they would feed a cat. They use human beings for the purpose of killing them. If someone did not die, they were killed.
When I see this pile of bones, I think they are my mother, father or children. I heard about the Khmer Rouge trial by listening on the radio, on a small radio.
But not all Cambodians want the former Khmer Rouge brought to trial. This is Pai Lin, a remote, dusty gem town on the northwest border with Thailand. More than half the town's population is ex-Khmer Rouge. The guns fell silent in Pai Lin almost a decade ago, but people here live with the past. It's a close-knit community that protects its own. One of those is Khieu Samphan. With the trial on the horizon, Khieu Samphan agreed to speak with Dateline. His first television interview in recent years.
I think that this is the matter for lawyers, but not for me. Second, given the fact that I was President of Democratic Cambodia, it seemed that I may have some responsibility vis-à-vis my compatriot
While Khieu Samphan belatedly admits he must share some of the blame, he still maintains he knew nothing about the true extent of the atrocities committed by his regime.
I don't know such a killing.
Not at all.
Not at all.
How is it that you, as President, as Head of State, then as Prime Minister, as someone who sat on the Central Committee meetings, how could you not know
control of the political process?
First,
These people might have freedom
you
of
may
speech,
know
but their
already
vision of the future
that
is
in
not one
any
America
communist
shares.
regime is the party who retain the monopoly, the absolute monopoly of power. Second, I must tell you that this so-called Central Committee is not comparable to the Central Committee of other communist parties in the world.
Yuk Chung says while there may be no evidence to show Khieu Samphan killed with his own hands, that does not make him innocent.
As a perpetrator, he still has hope that in the last split second, he still convince us to believe. But he cannot do so because we are human beings and memory is still with us about what happened.
Chit Bun Ho lives with his memories, and he finds it impossible to believe that Khieu Samphan knew nothing about the massacres.
I don't believe you could be a leader and not know that people under your supervision were killing people.
How are you going to convince Cambodians, let alone a war crimes tribunal, that you simply did not know?
They cannot believe. I understand. Because in the war, in the Western country, for instance, the head of state have the power, real power. But in the communist regime, and particularly in the Khmer Rouge regime, the head of state is under the discipline of the party.